What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. First of all, apologies if the microphone sounds off a little bit. My actual microphone is completely broken. I've ordered a new one. It should hopefully arrive within the next couple of days, but until then we've got the OG microphone, the microphone that I started the channel on, just a normal Logitech headset. But in today's video we are going to be trying to set a world record, which is in quotation marks, because there might have been faster lap times back in the day. As we know, bikes have changed, traction's changed, all this good stuff. But the MXB Ranked Discord put out an announcement the other day saying that they have put Krackenberg up as a special event, and you have to basically just go and set the best lap possible. So I thought, that's right up my alley, I'll give that a go. Have a look, and Not Found has set an absolutely disgusting lap time of a 55.34, which I think is better than the best lap I've ever run around there anyway. And something that's key to note on here is they have enduro bikes and normal OEM bikes as well, and I actually don't know which one would be better, because the enduro bikes have better grip, but they're not as good up the hills, so there's definitely going to be some pros and cons of both. But I just want to give it a go, you know, at the end of the day, that's all we can ask for. So yeah, I will see you in Krackenberg, and we'll start a lap and see how it goes. I guess we should give this thing a go then, shouldn't we? So, the hardest thing I think about getting this lap in is not going to be so much the time, because I feel like I can consistently get underneath an hour time around here. It's going to be just getting a lap time that counts. You can be a bike's width off of a trail at some point, just have really unfortunate timing, miss a timing gate, and that's an entire hour's worth of your time basically gone in the bin. So hopefully we don't do that. I want to try and... It's going to be difficult to have a nice mix of going fast but then also playing it safe so you do stay within the trails at all times. So for Not Found to get that 55 there, especially on the GasGas 300, so he's a little bit underpowered too, I think is very, very impressive. So just to give you a little bit of a breakdown, I probably already said it in the intro, but these OEM bikes, I think they're slightly faster in a straight line once the tyres stop spinning, because it takes a hell of a long time for them to stop spinning. But then in the tight, twisty bits, they're going to be slower with the lack of traction. On the uphills, they might be a little bit quicker. And then I'm not sure about underbraking, because there's some very high-speed sections around here that if you do go into heavy braking, you just kind of keep going, you keep sliding forwards rather than coming to a stop. We're not going to do this all in one take, so you're not going to see an entire hour's worth. I am going to check in here and there on some of the more difficult parts of this track, and then if I fall off, if I get stuck on any hills as well, you'll be able to see that also. And another thing that I done before we started as well was I quickly checked the Not Found sector times. Now, if you've been in any of my live streams when we've tried doing this, I'm pretty certain every time I've played this track without fail, I talk about what a good first sector time is, and 14.5 minutes is usually kind of my point of going, right, this is a good run so far. Not Found done it in 14.27, so even better there. So we should definitely check in at the sector marks as well to see if we're kind of ahead of pace or below, and then I guess you could also use that to work out, right, I can carry on, I should push now, or I should chill out a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. It's been a while since I've tried going for an entire hour just full hot lap around this place. So it's got to dust the cobwebs off, I guess. Working our way through the trees okay so far. The next two tiny little uphills can sometimes cause issues if the bike starts getting all wobbly, like trying to cut through it. Could you have asked for more perfect timing? Oh god, this is not what you want at the beginning. Yeah, trying to cut through there can give you some wonky physics. Don't mind taking the handlebars on that. And then also there's two tiny little uphills back to back here after we turn left. Just going to try and make sure the bike's in as straight of a line as possible. Try and keep that front wheel light, because as soon as the front wheel starts swapping, that's when it's game over. And we're through that first bit okay. Yeah, back in the day, this hill always used to give me issues, but since they increased the traction on the random soil types on these newest bikes, it's been pretty plain sailing, just nice and smooth all the way up there, not too much wonkiness involved. And if you're wondering why I've chosen the KTM 450 for this rather than the Beta, since the Beta is the quickest, it is purely because of the quick shift. Now, going up a lot of these hills, you tend to want to start in a higher gear to keep the bike tracking in a straight line. However, then when you get towards the top, you're going to start bogging a lot because you're just running out of oomph. Now, if you are on a bike that doesn't have any quick shift at all, those tiny little moments of downshifting and getting on the power again can cause a lot of wonkiness. So I thought, if I stick with the KTM, first of all, I'm quite comfortable in it anyway, in terms I know how it feels and how it reacts. But then also, it's just purely a case of getting them gear shifts in as quick as possible. So either trying to bang up quickly to keep traction, or trying to downshift quickly to keep the bike moving forwards up some of these hills, I think it's going to be a net positive. How this bike compares to the enduro bikes, I actually don't know. So if we get to the end of this lap, and let's say I'm like a couple minutes off, I think I should probably revisit again on an enduro bike instead, but that's a long time away. That's another 50 plus minutes away. One thing I am hoping for is I have enough file space on my PC as well, because this is going to take up a hell of a lot of file space recording for an hour straight, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it also. Hopefully I don't get to the end and it's like, oh, by the way, sorry, ran out of room, we only recorded the first half of it. So there's the first little, we'll call it a riverbed, essentially. It's not a proper rock garden, it's just a little taster of a rock garden. This hill can cause some issues as well. You've got to make sure you go in a perfectly straight line, try and keep the front wheel nice and light the rest of the way up, because you get a little bit of undulation going on up the hill, so it's not perfectly smooth the whole time. It cambers to the left and then to the right. This hill also very important to get a nice straight run up of. Didn't have that much momentum. Hopefully the bike can keep tracking forwards. Go, 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 go. Just got to keep the front end nice and light so it doesn't dig in. And then up here we have to have a quick little right left around these logs, and then I just got to try and time my turning in point up here as well to go up and around this next log. So just after this tree, up to the right, back down, and then we can kind of beeline our way down this hill. Up! Another very, very important hill coming up here. I usually like to downshift twice, and then you try and do the bare minimum turning while still getting the bike turned around. You just got to hope the back end doesn't get loose. And we are up. Lovely stuff. Corners like this, I mean, you can hear the back end lighting up the entire time, even though I'm being gentle. Those are the sorts of turns where the enduro bikes will gain time. So there's definitely little bits of time to gain and lose, depending on what class of bike you use. But so far, so good. The run's been fairly straightforward so far. Just one or two quick little tip overs, and it's been quick respawns, so nothing major for time loss. Every time I come up to this log, I always duck in real life as well. I'm always scared of hitting my head on it, but it's absolutely fine. I feel like I have actually only hit it once, and that's when I was trying to go just disgustingly quick and accidentally took off a little bit. At this hill, so the next right that we take, this can be a bit tricky sometimes. It all depends on the angle that you go at. As long as you don't break traction, you keep your inputs nice and smooth all the way to the top, and it's good. But you can see here, like even in third gear, half throttle, the bike's still not really wanting to go forwards at all. Thank God I didn't clip the bars on that. That would have been a nightmare. We've had to push it up most of this hill. So once you do come to a stop, that's when issues arise. It's just so difficult to get going again on these newest sets of tyres. Once you have your momentum, absolutely fine. It's getting it in the first place that can be quite hard. I'm trying to make a mental note to not pull too many tear-offs either. I think you get, was it like 20, 22, something like that, every time you respawn in this game? And it's so easy just to keep yanking them the whole way through this run, and then you get to the end of the run and you basically can't see anything because you ran out 30 minutes before the end. So trying to be very conservative on that end. And something else that's got quite difficult in recent years on this track is trying to pop the front wheel up and over some of the logs. Now, before, when we had disgusting amounts of grip, you could do it no problem. The bike would happily go up onto the back wheel. But now, where you just wheel spin the entire time, you don't. The front wheel just doesn't come up because the back end's just lighting yourself up. So you have to be a bit more strategic when you come up to some of these logs now. It's not quite as simple as it used to be. The angle's much more important. The time that you drop the clutch is a lot more important. If there's any sort of like terrain like this on the side of the grass there that you can use to your advantage, then definitely do so as well. Please don't fall down the hill. That's not a terrible time loss. It's still like an extra 5 to 10 seconds. What's going on here with the wonky physics? But yeah, as you can see, you have to be very, very particular about where you take off. And you can't really just like ram into it anymore either, because the suspension's got so good that it almost absorbs the log. Rather than popping your front wheel up, your bike just comes to a stop in front of it. There's lots of factors at play here. So 14:27 was the time I had to beat by the first sector, and I think we are going to be extremely close to that. We've got a couple of corners to go to it. Might be slightly behind, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, there's another, I guess, 40 minutes worth of track after that to try and get the time back on. But it just sets a precedent, doesn't it, on how your speed's going so far. So we got to drop down this hill, a little right, a little left after that, and that's where the sector point is. So we might be up by like 10 seconds. Maybe not so much now. Little crashes like that aren't going to help me either. So left, and then it's halfway down this next hill. So 14:13 is where I'm at right now. So we are actually 14 seconds ahead of schedule, which is always good. But like I said, this lap time could just not even count. It could have already been disallowed at this point, and I would just never know. If I go like a foot to the left or to the right of the path at the wrong time, that's where it's going to bite me in the bum. But head down, keep charging, and try and go as fast as possible. Right, this next hill here, this is either going to be a first attempt or it's going to take me 3-4 minutes to get up it. It's got concrete traction halfway up, so if you get even like a degree off the bike to the left or to the right, oh, it tried going, then it's going to be game over. I will take that every single day of the week. That's probably one of the best runs you can get up it these days. Absolutely praise the Lord. And then I usually go on the left-hand side of this, I guess, little divot that we're in here, but I'm going to try and stay in the middle. I want to try and stay as online on that max HUD as I possibly can, because I want no part of going off the track, even the tiniest bit. I would love this lap time to count at the end. Sometimes this hill can cause some difficulties as well, but again, try and get up into like third gear, lean back, try and keep that front wheel light, gently get off the throttle more and more and more so you don't start spinning halfway through, and we're good. That's another difficult one done. But then in literally another 20 seconds time, there's another really difficult hill, so we'll cross our fingers and toes for that one as well. This one's difficult because it's the whole thing slightly off camber, so you have to come from the left and then almost go slightly up and to the right. Keep the front wheel light, just crash, don't fall back down. Nice, we take that, and then we push our bike the rest of the way. And if you're trying to minimise time loss, it's better to just crash near the top and push it, rather than trying to force it the whole way and then the bike falling all the way back down. So not the end of the world, but still another 10 seconds or so that really could have done without losing there. I've been getting some very funky low-speed physics so far, which I swear I don't usually get. So hopefully it's something that I can overcome when we get to the really tight, treacherous sections. Because it's just like the bike fighting against you, just wobbling side to side. And I thought that I was good enough at this point, I could overcome that, but it seems to be fighting against me. Right, this hill can be difficult also. Let's just try and straight line this as best as we can, all the way, gentle, and we're good. Now a hell of a lot of long straights. I've come in here way too hot. Oh lord, we're cooking. How? Oh my god, how have I survived that? That's ridiculous. I just fully missed any breaking point that I might have had in the past. That's unreal. I don't know how I've survived that. It's fine. Barboso is looking down upon me today. He's blessed me with the good luck. One of the biggest challenges I've had so far is just getting the bike stopped at the end of some of these straights. It's like the brakes are just non-existent when it's this slippery, which I find is weird, because if technically the bike's not sliding at all, that shouldn't really affect the brakes. The wheel should still slow down at the same amount of time, but then if it is actually sliding, why does it not feel like it's sliding? I don't know, I don't get it, but I feel like I'm making really good progress. I haven't had any massive hiccups at all. I've got to try and just get up this in one, get the bike cranked over to the left, be so gentle on this throttle, I don't want it sliding out on me. Lovely, and give it another quick blip up to the top of this. It's been going, oh, a little low speed wobble there. It's been going very, very swimmingly. We've got to try and get over this bad boy, that's fine, tank that one. That's quite a nice log actually, there's a little bit of dirt before it that helps pick the front wheel up slightly, so you haven't got to dump the clutch, lean back and pray that the front wheel rises. And so if we're looking at the max HUD time at the top left, the not found's second sector was 16 minutes and 16 seconds. So ideal world, if at 30 minutes and 30 seconds, basically, I haven't hit the next sector, we are behind. So we're coming up to the first rock garden here as well. Hopefully this one goes nice and straight forwards. There's no major hiccups. I'll keep you on for this one as well. Just got to try and look as far ahead as possible. Surprised the front end didn't go to the side there because I hit a rock at a slight angle. That's always the key for these rock gardens, is just to look as far ahead as possible. Jump over anything that you can do. Just keep your momentum moving. Just always put yourself in the right part of the track that you need to be on. Oh, that's a bad line choice by me. Well, this is all off camber as well. It's hard for the bike to go the way you want it to go. I'll try. Let's go up and left a bit here. Nice, just micro movements. You don't want to ask too much of the bike, because that's when it will start going wrong and it will start trying to fight against you. That was lucky. Through here, and then we're just going to drop down. Nice, first rock garden completed, no problem. The one that does cause problems, however, is Carl's Diner. That's one we need to watch out for. That is later on in the lap. This is one of the most fun parts of the track for me. So you're going to come flying along this long straight, you take a left at these porta potties that are coming up in a second, and then you've got 2 tyres, and you can either slow right down, or you can try and hit absolutely whipped and try and thread the needle between them, just like that. Lovely. Oh, the bummer always goes a little bit tight when we get there. But now, this is also oddly tricky. Now, how this used to be, the snow used to be really, really slick, and then the other bits were quite grippy, but now it's almost in reverse, where the snow is grippier, and the bits up this hill that aren't snow are basically like ice. I have no idea what values, like soil types, each one uses, but it is incredibly tricky, especially with it all being off camber as well. The bike just wants to go down that hill to the left, so you've got to constantly try and fight it to climb up to the right, whilst it's sliding the whole time, whilst Resolute slaps some logs in here now and then to ruin your momentum as well. Very, very evil, man. And we've got this little downhill coming up in a second, which used to be basically impossible to get to the bottom of without crashing, but now that this snow has so much more grip, the likelihood of your tyres coming out from underneath you is a lot lower. So used to always just end up headbutting that wall at the bottom. Now, much easier time. Just nice and controlled, gentle on the brakes, don't let the bike step out from underneath you, and you're good to carry on again. We got a little sneaky line coming up here as well that Mr. Resolute told me himself. So if you get hard on the brakes here, pop almost a UE, come up on the grass, you can then drop down, miss all of these rocks out, and get a much better angle and slingshot up this hill, and it just saves you so much time than trying to pick your way through all of the rocks. I absolutely love that line. And I never would have found it if he didn't tell me about it years and years and years ago, so thank you very much for that, Resolute. No way I make it down here. Holy. There was just, I don't know what, I think I blacked out for a second there. My brain just said, actually, no, you don't want to brake before going down this massive hill. If I managed to step down that and make the 2 corners afterwards, that would have probably been one of the most impressive things I've ever done on this entire game. But no, it wasn't meant to be. That little crash, and it's things like that. So I went slightly off the track path as well, and I don't know how stringent the checkpoints are on bits like that. I don't know if that's going to go and bite me in the bum by the end of all this, or if it's okay. So we'll find out at the end. It will be very heartbreaking if I end up crossing the line in 30 minutes time, whatever it is, and maybe have a lap time that would put me at the top, but it then just doesn't count because I went slightly off to the track. But I suppose a world record is not a world record if you've gone off course at any point. I guess it's technically cheating, even if you didn't mean to do so at any point in time. So I think that's what makes Not Found's lap even more impressive, is not only is it a 55, not only is it on a 300, he's done all of that and stayed on the track everywhere for it to count. So you saw there was 2 people on that leaderboard when I looked at the start of this video. I guarantee it's a hell of a lot more than 2 people that have tried to do this. Those are just the ones that managed to do it the cleanest and get it all to count for them. I do like this rock garden here. It's a little teaser, it's a little baby rock garden to wet the whistle a bit before you go into Carl's Diner, which is the section that basically is coming up after this. And yeah, if people find this a bit difficult, you're going to be into a world of hurt in about 3 minutes time, because Carl's Diner is without a doubt the hardest part of this track. Not just really to get through, but there's a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot of RNG involved in it as well, because if you get unlucky and you crash in a way the bike gets stuck in a rock, your game can crash, first of all. That's always a bad thing. But then outside of that, if you have to hard reset, and what happens is the bike will still respawn inside of a rock. So you have to hard reset 3, 4, sometimes 5 times just to get going again. It's an absolute nightmare, to put it bluntly. But hopefully we don't have too many issues like that, exactly like I'm having right now. Like, why am I holding right and reversing and the bike is falling back that direction? I have no idea. The game makes no sense sometimes. This has been one of my slowest runs ever through this rock garden, I'll be completely honest. So, not good, but that's not good either. What is good, I just looked up at the time, didn't even know we'd crossed the second sector point yet, but way ahead of schedule. That is very, very good. So I needed a... Oh, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. Oh, I needed a 16.16 in Sector 2. We done a 15.29. So I might try and just reel it in a little bit and try and chill out. Hopefully keep the bike on the track and have this count. Because I've now essentially got 23 minutes or so to get to the end of this lap. I mean, there is still quite a lot of track left, and I really don't know exact timings of my last sector. But it's looking good so far. It's looking solid. It's looking doable. Here's where the pain and suffering begins, though. This is Carl's Diner, the massive rock garden. And not only do you have to go through this entire rock garden all the way along this straight, You then get to pop a U-turn at the end and come back through it on the left-hand side of me just here. So definitely the part of the track that can make or break you a lot of time. So I'm just trying to look really far ahead, trying to see any big rocks that I might be able to pop up and over like that, but I did not succeed. Please don't spawn me inside one. Thank you. And then I don't... What's the game plan here? How do I get up and over these without losing too much time? Let's just try and gun it through this little gap here. There we go. That's kind of best case scenario. Let's tiptoe our way through. Let's jump over those two. Try and keep it on track as much as possible. I'm really scared about going through this tape too much. Just look ahead, get the bike where it needs to be. Gonna filter through here. Let's just try and drop the clutch and go a bit more. Give me a good respawn. It did. That's one of the nicest respawns I think I've ever had in this rock garden. So some of it's genuinely, sometimes you just have to get lucky. But then a lot of it is trying to look ahead as much as you can do. Oh, please. That's not what we want. Am I stuck in it? Am I stuck in it? Can I reverse? Not really. You know what? Let's up and over, up and round. Yes, lovely stuff. Survive, 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 survive. Yes, go, 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 go. Okay, we have lost a good amount of time here already. This is not a good run. Not a good run at all. Carl has claimed me so far. Let's go over to the left, open this up, try and jump over those ones. And then there's also a little double right at the very end of this section as well. It's like you have to check up quickly and downside a bump, and then you can accelerate up out of that, jump up and over some of these bigger rocks at the end. Let's try and get over that one. Then go over the bars. Nice. A lot of the RNG as well is because these rocks are models rather than terrain. The bike will react very differently every time that you hit them. So you just again, sometimes you just have to get lucky. And then the last jump here, so I want to roll over this one and then whoop, jump up and over that. Nice. And then we get to turn around and do it all again. But the way back, I think, is much easier than the way there. And then you finally get to the end of all this, think, oh, thank God I'm through it. You come down this hill, do a little right, do a little left, and then you are met with even more rocks and another rock garden, just to add insult to injury. Thankfully, this one is not as difficult as Carl's Diner, just fairly straightforward. There's a lot more gaps between the rocks. It's a little bit rougher in terms of the ground, but to be honest, that doesn't really matter. You can kind of double your way through the rough stuff. If I was a guessing man, I would say I think Notfound probably had a better run through those 3 rock sections than I did. But I don't know what it was, but that run was probably one of the messier ones I've ever had on this course ever, in all my times doing it. So I don't think I can really slack in this back third of the race. I think I still need to keep going, keep setting it. To be honest, we've got, was it 10? We've got like 16-ish minutes left to finish this track in, 16 and a half or so, if I want to beat this. But again, it's still trying to get that fine line between going fast and then trying to keep it as on track as possible so I don't get any sorts of cuts. That one singular cut will make the lap not count, which is kind of insane when you think about it over the course of an hour's run. But like, them's are the rules, unfortunately. You can get away with it when you're racing around Krackenberg, but when you're doing like time trial stuff like this, no bueno, can't do it. This is in an online server, so I can't just go and restart easily, no problem. But hopefully this does count. Sometimes these downhills can be just as difficult as the uphills. It's so easy for the bike to break traction if you brake too hard or turn too much. Then you have to let go of the brakes, wait for the bike to straighten itself up. But then if you let go of the brakes, you're going to be going too fast down the hill. Absolute nightmare sometimes, but that was pretty damn clean, if I do say so myself. Little step down the hill, back brake tap, lovely. And yeah, so far, it's not been like, oh my god, this is an amazing run, like it's a god run. It's just very, very average, I think, for me. But it's hard to gauge overall time and where I'm at, just where I haven't tried hot lapping this in a long time. Most of the time when we do this track on streams, I'll start off quick and then I'll like wait for people or we'll get a game crash, something like that. And I mean, so far there's been no game crashes. We'll cross our fingers and our toes that remains the case. But yeah, I've got no clue really my overall time from this point forwards. It's only the first sector that I really know what time I'm meant to be looking for. This is one of these sections where you can make or lose a lot of time. You can just twist the throttle and hold on and pray for dear life like I'm trying to do, or you can try and be a bit more methodical about it. There's just one part in a second where you have to check up for, otherwise you will go over the bars at a very, very quick speed. And let me just make sure I brake at the right time, just here. So yeah, you can't really get away with forcing this. You have to... Oh! I don't think I've ever hit that tree before. Okay, you know what? That wasn't too bad. That's what, a second of time, maybe, if that. And then you get straight back on the power, and you lean back and hold on again. Right, this hill, this darker coloured hill right here, I don't think I have ever made it to the very, very tippy top of this hill without having to stop and push. Just with the way it's laid out, combined with traction, you have to kind of square this off, jump to the top. Oh, the back end's come round on me. That's a great respawn. So then if I can get any sort of momentum moving forwards here, nice. Try and swing out wide, see if I can get some speed going up this part. That's great speed. Go, 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 please! You know what? I don't know if you'll class that as without stopping, because technically we did respawn there, but that respawn kind of helped me, because then I could readjust and get my speed going in the right way. That's a really good run up there. I've had times where that's taken 2 or 3 attempts to get up the first bit because the bike stood out, then I've had to push it because I've crashed a little bit. So, I mean, pace-wise, this is getting better. Since Carl's Diner, I've been absolutely schmooving. Now, we've got another very, very difficult hill coming up here, which, based on the traction that I've been feeling so far, I don't think it's out of pocket to say might be impossible to get all the way up without stopping. You need to get the angle right, you need to get the speed right. But I imagine we might be stopping halfway up this and pushing it the rest of the way. Right, now, there we go. I'm going to push that. I mean, it's still a long way to go, and it is painful having to see it. But if I try accelerating again from this point, you don't really go anywhere, and you come to a stop again. Sometimes, if you try going, and then you get on the brakes, the bike might not stop. It just carries on rolling backwards all the way to the bottom. So this is kind of making the best of a bad situation going up here, but it is painful seeing the time slowly ticking by whilst having to push up this hill. We actually only have 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes left to finish this whole track. This could get a little bit mixy. I might have to start going a bit more sendy. Oh, what an absolute goober. I lost all of my momentum going up that hill. It's alright. That was the shorter one of all of them. This next one can cause some issues if you don't get a good run, so I want to try and swing out fairly wide, and I just want to straight line it as much as I can. Just lean back, keep the front wheel nice and light. Please don't make me fall back down. Nice. Yeah, no, we're just going to push it the rest of this way. Little time losses, but again, could be a whole lot worse by falling all the way back down to the bottom. There's a braking point here somewhere that I always miss. There we go, let's get on the brake. Oh my god, I'm not stopping. Please stop. Please stop. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're up. No, we're dead. We're dead. Please don't roll too far off. I beg. I just want to stay on the trail. Thank you. I mean, it spawned me completely backwards. But you see what I mean? Like, the bike just doesn't come to a stop at all on these trails. It just slides and slides and slides. It's ridiculous. We need, give us a little bit more grip on the weird soil types. Like, keep it as it is on soft soil and stuff like that if you need to. But this weird stuff, it's probably like compact and I don't know what else is all mixed in here, but it gives a little bit more traction on these ones, because then it'll make tracks like this so much more, I guess, enjoyable and then accessible to other skill levels as well. I know it's meant to be a difficult track, but I think a lot of the difficulty itself comes from, first of all, the length of it, but then also with like game crashes coming in here as well. Can I get the trick is the question. You used to be able to just jump up and over these logs. Yes, scumbag, a little bit on the left-hand side on the hill. And then flip the throttle to get up this one that's slightly off camber that can cause issues. Back down. So now the next hill that we're coming up to, I don't know if I think I made it up clean once, but that was back when the traction was really OP. I mean, you can see it kind of wants you to slalom side to side, and I don't know, let's try this actually. Let's go up here to the left. Oh, it's trying to kick out from under me. Try and straight line this again, come to a stop. No, please. It's fine. It's fine. We'll push it again. Oh god, this is stressful. Now I'm looking at the timer at the top left and going, uh-oh, I've got just under 6 minutes to complete this entire lap, and I don't really have a reference of how long it takes from here. But the less issues like that, the better. So let's just go. Put our head down and charge to the end. There's nothing too difficult. It's fairly wide open straights. We've got a little stadium section in a bit as well, but other than that, it should just be full send from here to the finish. Right, I spotted that little marker in the distance. I've got to turn right slightly, step down this, good landing, nice, and we've got to go to the power again, and then we drop further down to the right. Just got to keep an eye out. I just want to make sure I get all my braking done at the right time so I don't come flying down these hills out of control and lose a whole bunch of time unnecessarily. There's one more marker. I always brake too early for this next one. I always think it's that these tyres here, when it goes a little bit further past that, now I'm going to get on the brakes. And here it is up on the right. Step down. Oh, careful. It's sliding, it's sliding, it's sliding. Go, 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 go. Got 4 minutes. I think 4 minutes is actually quite a lot, I think, from here. I really don't have that much track left to go. So we've got to this point. I'm 99.9% sure time-wise I'm where I need to be. The question is, did I stay on the track enough for it to count? Because again, I could be 3 minutes quicker, but if I didn't stay on the track everywhere, then it doesn't count. And I feel like that's completely fair. I don't have any issues with that at all. And yeah, I guess it is... maybe I gained time from going slightly off the track in some places, which I shouldn't have. So I don't mind at all, but it would be nice to be able to claim current world record. And if I do it, I know full well if I post this, there's going to be a handful of other people trying to go for it and beating it as well. So it'll probably be a very short-lived world record if I do get it. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles on the YouTube life. And stadium section just up here. Usually the stadium's quite straightforward, so it's usually just 2 doubles if you don't get any weird kicks. So let's cross our fingers real quick. Double the first bit, double the second bit. Oh no, the fingers weren't crossed hard enough. I'm just going to have to reverse all the way back down here. It's not going to let me turn around. It's not even letting me go full. Hello? Please? Please don't ruin this for me right at the end. Oh my god, we've got like 2.5 minutes left. Oh, that's not me turning to the right. That's not me turning right. It's the game getting wonky on the logs. Oh my goodness. Ah, go. We should be fine. I'm just worried if, because I went slightly off the right of that log where it just makes you turn off to the right by itself, is stuff like that enough for the lap not to count? I really don't know. We've essentially got 1 long straight and then 1 downhill, and we're done. And we got 2.5 minutes to do it. So it's absolutely lovely. Every single time we go along this straight as well, you got to give a wave to the KTM man waving at us. Lovely, thank you, sir. And then there should be another group of people up on the left-hand side here. That's usually my reference point for braking and getting turned in. Here they are. Right, get on the brakes. Oh, it's not stopping again. That's fine. Just gonna go down, then to the right. Oh, back end. It's fine. Down here. Please, please count. I beg. Please. 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Yes, it counted. Nice. Oh, okay, so that was, I think, 1 minute and 50 quicker than Mr. Not Found. I'm very happy with that. Good stuff. So that actually is the quickest I've ever got around this track as well, ever, even back when the traction was even more OP. I'm well happy with that. That was really good. So that's it. Go to MXB Ranked. Go to special events. Hopefully the leaderboard should be updated. By this point, I'll refresh it and hopefully it's... There you go, look. New world record by Linz, 53.38. Lovely stuff. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, all of that lovely stuff. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and I'll catch all of you in the next video. Peace.